We're in the middle of an election campaign, right? PNP watch JLP, JLP watch PNP. Who watch the two of them? I'm Dion Jackson Miller. Thank you so much for joining me. Time for tea. Jamaican politics can be really nice, but sometimes things get a little bit out of hand. And it's the Electoral Commission who currently has a job to watch the political parties. And I think they're off to a bad start, and I soon tell you why. Look, election time can be really exciting in Jamaica, all right? Because Jamaican politics is colorful, it's musical, it's noisy. Jamaican politicians are colorful and musical. Well, I'm not sure about the musical, but they're certainly colorful and they're certainly noisy. And having covered a lot of political rallies, I can tell you they can be a lot of fun. So the politicians you hear in Parliament are not the same people you hear out on the campaign trail. I remember one PNP conference, for instance, when the late Roger Clark wanted to talk about how he said the PNP was increasing cell phone access. And the man take out 2 cell phones and said man can now call himself. Roger Clark, when you think about Audley Shaw, Manor Yard, I mean, those politicians have been so much fun to cover on the trail. So I totally get the excitement around politics, right? If you belong to the Greens or the Oranges, it's community, it's belonging, you know, it's believing in something bigger than yourself. And if you think that sounds too idealistic, then it's also bread and butter and money and jobs, whether on the campaign trail or if your party gets into office. But having said that politics can be nice, you also have a whole heap of foolishness that go on the campaign trail and on those political party platforms. Reckless driving on the road, for instance. Look, people have died as a result of some of them driving there. When I see the motorcade them on the road, whether it's in election time or party conference, I just want to get away. And importantly as well, a whole heap of stupidness is said and a lot of things happen in relation to the political party paraphernalia that's put up, whether they posters, the flags or what have you. So who deals with all of that? Who monitors that and tries to help to keep the parties in check? Can't be the court, because the length of time things take for go court. By the time it reach court, the campaign done and the election done long time. So right now it's the Electoral Commission of Jamaica that is also the political ombudsman. But I don't think they have started well. And I don't think they have so far acted in a way to inspire public confidence as to whether they can do the job or how they will do the job. The Electoral Commission of Jamaica is also then the political ombudsman, and that happened just before the February 2024 local government elections. Since then, we've heard nothing from the political ombudsman until very recently. Now, since November 2022, when the term of the former ombudsman Donna Parchment Brown ended, civil society groups have been saying, what they want? We need a political ombudsman. Talk to us, tell us what is happening. They were also calling for the office to be reinstated as a standalone office because of concerns about conflict of interest. What that mean? So remember, who are the members of the Electoral Commission of Jamaica? You have 4 selected commissioners jointly agreed on by the Prime Minister and leader of the opposition, right? Then one of those 4 becomes the chairman. They are called the 4 selected or independent commissioners, and they decide which one of them is going to chair the Electoral Commission. Then both the JLP and the PNP nominate 2 people each to be on the commission, straight politician name, all right? Now the ombudsman is supposed to investigate any action by one of the political parties or supporters that could breach any agreement or code, as in the political code of conduct, or could prejudice good relations between supporters of the different parties. So for instance, there's now a political dispute in St. James where the municipal corporation controlled by the JLP has been taking down PNP political advertisements, and I did a whole video on that where you can watch here. Okay, I'll link it at the end. One of the people who has been complaining about what the JLP controlled municipal corporation has been doing is Dr. Dayton Campbell. He's a PNP General Secretary. He is also one of the PNP's nominated members of the Electoral Commission. You see the problem? How that go work? Alright, so after all this time hearing nothing from the Electoral Commission, out of the blue, we hear that a letter was sent to the mayor of Montego Bay and the chairman of the municipal corporation, Richard Vernon, dated April 25, referring to the members as we, the political ombudsman, saying they had received a complaint from the PNP about the political advertisements. So, all right, problem solved, right? Because for months people saying, where the ombudsman there? And now we're here, the ombudsman has surfaced. Except for one problem, because we still don't know how this thing will work. And they don't seem to be in a hurry to tell us. Now, bear in mind the Justice Minister, Leroy Chuck. This is a man, right, who brought the bill to Parliament to subsume the office of the political ombudsman, to integrate the office into the Electoral Commission. The man who has been championing this thing and saying how it will work and it's the best thing to do, even when other people are saying there's a problem and it not work. Mr. Chuck, the Justice Minister, puts out a statement saying, him don't know what they're going either. So here was his statement. He said, I have been advised that an individual has been appointed to carry out the field functions previously conducted by the then standalone political ombudsman. Listen to the language, I have been advised. He then says, I understand that the Electoral Commission has also been undertaking the work of the Ombudsman, including receiving complaints. Again, listen to the language. This does not suggest official notification. He goes on to say, a sum of $60 million provided for in the budget for the 2024 to 2025 financial year for matters related to the role and functions of that office was not used by the ECJ. Just sticking a pin here to note that former Ombudsman Donna Parchment Brown had said her office used to get $25 million a year. And one of the reasons they gave for wanting to cut out the office as a standalone office was that it was too expensive. So how then is $60 million being provided? No answer yet on that. The minister went on to say, I am now urging the Electoral Commission of Jamaica to provide details surrounding the terms and engagement of the individual now functioning in the role of the previous office of the political ombudsman, as well as how members of the public can contact that office with election-related matters. So, the minister this, the Justice Minister saying to the Electoral Commission, brethren, we don't need to talk to people them. So guess what? The Electoral Commission put out a statement, and of course I'm excited because I've been waiting to hear how this thing going to work, and I know you're excited too. So let me tell you what they said. They said the Electoral Commission of Jamaica, the body responsible for discharging the functions of the political ombudsman, has established a framework to effectively manage its legal responsibility as a political ombudsman, including holding the parties accountable to the political code of conduct. All right, we're getting somewhere now. They have a framework. What is the framework? They said the unit is headed by a senior officer, the registrar of political parties. That person will be the chief liaison between the public and the ECJ's members, who together constitute the political ombudsman. You note the word together in meaning including the four politicians them. All right. So having pointed that out, in case we never know, how it go work though with the politicians as part of the Electoral Commission and also therefore being a part of the political ombudsman, how that go work. So surely that is coming next, right? Okay, so they wanted to tell us how to submit complaints first. I can't see that. So what happens after the complaints? We must hear now, right? All right, not yet. I guess they want us to know they're not lele, so they're telling us everything they have done since getting the work. So I'm still waiting. But then the statement ends. And it ends by saying the Electoral Commission of Jamaica takes the Political Ombudsman Act seriously, as political conduct does impact the democratic process. It will carry out its task so long as the Parliament requires it so to do. Look, I think I said it earlier, but I'm going to say it again because I always like to make the point that this is not personal. All right? All the members of the Electoral Commission are people for whom I have the greatest of respect. Those independent members, those selected members are people who have given the highest service to this country. Earl Jarrett, well known, he's a chairman, big businessman, known for his business acumen and business savvy. Justice Patrick Brooks, former president of the Court of Appeal. Justice Zayla McCullough, former Chief Justice. So, again, huge respect for all that these wonderful Jamaicans have accomplished. But what is happening here? Because honestly, at this stage, it's starting to look as if they either don't know how the thing are going to work, then can't figure it out, or they don't want to tell we. One of them. And none of that is going to fly. Distinguished members of the Electoral Commission of Jamaica, I beg you, don't do this. We need to know your process. We need to know the mechanism. We need to know the process for resolving complaints. After your designated person done him investigation and brings back the information, what happens then? That is what you have not told us. How do you decide on a resolution? How do you come to a resolution? What happens? What is the role of the politicians in this? What happens when the politicians don't agree? What is the mechanism? You need to tell us. Because somebody has to police the politicians, and like it or not, right now, that's you. Alright, so like the video now, share it with somebody you think might be interested, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet done so. What you wait for? 26,000 and counting. 1,000 more since my last video now. And also click that notification bell so you know anytime I drop a new video. I'm Dion Jackson Miller. Thank you so much for watching. Going back to my tea.